Before the 1920s, women very highly conservative with long, stuffy clothing and high necklines. However, come the 20s, women were emboldened by recently winning the right to vote and took their newfound liberty to the extreme with heavy makeup and revealing outfits. Preceded by the Prohibition, thus beginning an era for breaking rules and creating new dynamics. Times were prosperous, money was abound, and people were jubilant and determined to celebrate. And so began the Roaring Twenties. In response to the newfound freedom, lifestyle changes were grand and exciting. Not only did women's personalities change, but their clothing, makeup, and hair did as well. The 20s were a decade for exploring self-expression, and as such, traditional conventions, restricting waistlines, and long hemlines fell away. In our tutorial, we put her hair in a half-up, half-down bun. We pinned the bottom half, and then the other layer of hair, we created a bob using more bobby pins and topped it off with a headpiece. Before the 1920s, women spent copious amounts of time on long, pulled back, and pinned up hairstyles. By the 20s, women, feeling liberated by finally having achieved the right to vote, took hold of their power by outrageously cutting their hair into short haircuts known as bobs. Bobs took the nation by storm, and before long, they dominated style columns in everyday life. However, repercussions of the hairstyle were serious. Husbands would divorce, physical abuse was common, and demeaning stigma of the unreliable party girl was widespread. This trend was feared by men as a strong feminist movement, but the public eye was strongly influenced by the sweeping progression and the hairstyle prevailed. The two most popular ways of styling a bob was first a straight, sleek, gelled bob that fell just below the cheekbones with the front edge of hair smoothed into a single curl resting on each. The second being a slightly longer cut known as a lob or long bob that was most often loosely curled and nearly smoothed into cascading curls or waves falling just short of the shoulder length. The look was typically finished off with a beaded headpiece wrapping horizontally around one's head, sometimes topped with a feather. Now onto the makeup. In this tutorial, we showed you a classic 20s look with dark shadow, red lips, and of course the famous eyebrow and blush techniques. First, we went in with the foundation, a thick layer of concealer, powder, bronzer, a lot of blush, highlighter, then a thin elongated brow with a purple and black smoky eye, and then to top it off, we added a bright red lip. Women began to wear heavy, dark makeup, largely emphasizing their eyes, lips, and cheekbones, in primarily blue, purple, and black tones. Dark eyeshadow and liner grew very popular. Mascara was worn excessively and applied in numerous coats. Lipstick and lip liner was typically in dark reds and pinks, and at the time, eyebrows were desired to be thin and long, thus they were drawn with brow pencil to almost the hairline. Foundation and blush were applied heavily to cover up imperfections and call attention to brightly colored cheeks. All of these techniques were utilized to over-accentuate what the 1920s society views were of the most desirable, beautiful parts of a woman's face. Through this, women felt liberated, free, and those who followed these trends became infamously known as flappers. They were traditionally young, bold women, but older women striving to return to their youth followed suit. Flappers changed the face of women and their role in society, giving example to womankind's dramatic change throughout the 20s. By 1925, the feeling of liberation was at an all-time high. Flappers decorated themselves with a new style, creating many trends and iconic remembrances of the Roaring Twenties. Clothing was loose and fell at the knee to ankle length. Popular silhouettes included shapeless, sleeveless slip gowns. Fringe and sequins and beads provided breathtaking, flashy decorum to the garments, and feathers provided for an extravagant flourish. The dresses were designed to show as much skin as possible, exposing minimal cleavage but plenty of back inside, so as to prevent being immorally scandalous while simultaneously remaining daring. Long necklaces and T-strap shoes contributed femininity to the ensemble. Pearls in every aspect became all the rage. Other favorite accessories included diamond tiaras, headbands, silk shawls, feather fans, and gold bangles. On cold weather occasions, women kept warm with oversized flamboyant fur coats. This is how a woman in the 1920s would look from head to toe, ready to go out to a glamorous Gatsby party.